I never thought I'd be the guy writing a story like this, but here I am. My name's Jason, and I guess I'm just trying to get this off my chest because I honestly don't know what to do anymore. I've been with my wife, Emily, for about 5 years now. We met when we were in college, and for the most part, I thought we had a good thing going. She was always a bit bitchy, sure. She loved to throw around her sarcasm and act like she was better than everyone else, but I figured that was just her personality. She was smart, funny, and we'd always had a good connection, or so I thought. Things started to feel weird a few months ago. She became distant, like she was avoiding me or hiding something. She'd get annoyed if I tried to talk to her about where she was going or who she was seeing. She'd lie about small stuff like, "I'm just running errands," or "I'm at my friend Sarah's," but I'd find out later she hadn't been anywhere near those places. I brushed it off at first, thinking maybe I was just overthinking. But then I noticed the little things. Her phone vibrates nonstop late at night. She started wearing more makeup when she went out, and her mood swings got worse. I was starting to suspect something was up, especially because she'd get bitchy whenever I asked questions. She'd roll her eyes, snap at me, or change the subject. It was different from the Emily I knew. Then one night I came home early from work because I wasn't feeling great. I decided to surprise her at the house, maybe cook dinner or just hang out. When I got there, I saw her car parked outside, which wasn't unusual. But what was unusual was the sound coming from the bedroom. I could hear her voice, low, breathy, and definitely not talking to her mother or her best friend. I froze outside, trying to listen. It sounded like her and someone else, someone's voice I didn't recognize, doing something I really didn't want to hear. My stomach sank. I didn't want to believe it, but the voice was too familiar. I crept closer, pressed my ear to the door, and I heard her moaning. Yeah, it was her, definitely her voice. She was having sex with someone. My mind went blank. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. All those years, all those moments I thought were real, just shattered in a second. I backed up slowly, trying to process what I just heard. My first instinct was anger, pure and raw. But then the sadness hit me harder. How could she do this? After everything, I was just some fool who thought we were solid. I kept thinking about the fact that I was about to be a dad. I told her I was pregnant, and her response was just a stupid shrug or a fake smile. She was lying to me about everything. I wanted to confront her right then, but I couldn't find the words. I just walked away, my mind racing, wondering how long this had been going on, who the guy was, and what the hell I'd do next. That's when I knew I couldn't keep pretending everything was fine. I needed answers, and I needed to decide if I was going to stay or walk away. But I'll tell you this, I wasn't prepared for what would come next. I waited a couple of days before confronting her. Honestly, I needed to gather my thoughts, figure out what I was feeling, and decide how I wanted to play this. Emily was her usual bitchy self, snapping at me if I looked at her the wrong way, acting like I was overreacting, like I was some insecure idiot. She kept insisting she was just stressed, or "it's nothing," and she'd brush past me like I was nothing. But I wasn't buying it anymore. I knew she was lying. The way she avoided my eyes, the little slip-ups, like forgetting her phone or leaving her messages open, told me she wasn't being honest. I decided I had to get more proof, so I started paying close attention. I found her phone one night when she fell asleep early. I saw the texts, nothing explicit at first, just some flirtatious messages with this guy named Mike. It wasn't much, but it was enough to confirm what I'd suspected. Then I saw more. Her social media was filled with pictures of her and Mike at some bar, laughing and looking cozy. I felt like I'd been punched again. My stomach twisted. How long had this been going on? And why, after I told her I was pregnant, was she still sneaking around? That evening, I finally decided I couldn't keep pretending. I woke her up when she was half asleep and laid it all out on the table. "Who the hell is Mike, Emily? I saw the messages. You've been lying to me." Her eyes flashed and she sat bolt upright, rubbing her face like I'd just disturbed her. She looked annoyed, like I was bothering her for no reason. "Oh, so now you're spying on me. Wow, real mature," she snapped. "Mike is just a friend, okay? You're overthinking everything. Maybe you're just insecure, Jason." Her voice dripped with sarcasm. I felt like I was talking to a stranger, not my wife. I told her I knew about the sex, I knew she was cheating, and I wanted to know why. Her response: she rolled her eyes, shrugged, and said, I don't owe you an explanation. I'm not cheating. You're just paranoid. Maybe you should get help or see a doctor. That's when I realized how deep her lies went. She was so good at it, so bitchy and manipulative. She kept denying everything, even when I had proof. I was furious but mostly heartbroken. How could she do this? How could she betray me like this when I was about to become a father? I wanted to scream, to shake her, but I just sat there, staring at her, feeling like I was losing everything I ever thought we had. The emotional roller coaster was insane. I went from shock to rage, then to utter sadness. I trusted her with my life, my future, and now I was questioning everything about her, about us. I wanted to believe her, I really did. But the evidence was mounting, and her attitude, so dismissive, so bitchy, made me feel like I was just some fool she was stringing along. I kept asking myself if I ever really knew her or if I'd been fooling myself all these years. Honestly, I felt numb. How do you keep going when the person you love, the person you're supposed to trust the most, is out there screwing around and lying every chance she gets? I was angry at her, but I was also angry at myself for not seeing the signs earlier. And worst of all, what's next? How do I face her after this? How do I even look at her the same way again? That night, I didn't sleep. I just sat there staring at the wall, trying to come up with a plan. I knew I had to do something soon, but I wasn't sure what. All I knew was my life was about to change forever. The next morning, everything felt heavier. I woke up with a pounding head and a knot in my stomach. The house was eerily quiet, only the faint sound of her moving around in the kitchen. I hadn't told her I was planning anything, but I knew I couldn't keep going like this. I needed to confront her again, or at least get her to admit the truth. I decided to dig a little deeper, figuring if she was lying this much, there must be more I didn't know. I started poking around her things, her emails, her social media, her messages. Every little thing seemed to confirm what I already suspected. She'd been sneaking around with Mike for months, probably since shortly after I told her I was pregnant. That realization hit me like a freight train. She was cheating on me while I was trying to support her, while I was excited about our future and feeling vulnerable. About the pregnancy, I felt betrayed, disgusted, and honestly humiliated. I found a receipt from a hotel near the city, something I didn't expect, but it made sense now. They had been meeting in secret, probably late at night. I even found a text from her saying, "Can't wait to see you again tonight," with a heart emoji. That was the final straw. I looked at her, sitting at the table, pretending to be innocent, and I saw this bitchy smile on her face like she was proud of herself. Like she thought she was untouchable. In that moment, I made up my mind. I couldn't just confront her with words anymore. I had to do something more, something calculated. I decided I'd catch her in the act, make her admit everything once and for all, and then decide what to do. I knew it was risky, but I couldn't keep living in this limbo. I wanted her to see that I wasn't some fool she could manipulate anymore. I wanted her to feel what I felt, like the ground had shifted underneath us. So I started planning. I set up hidden cameras around the house and the car, knowing they'd pick up her movements and possibly catch her again with Mike. I also reached out to a private investigator I knew, just to have some additional eyes on her. I wanted proof, undeniable evidence. I needed her to realize I was serious, that I wasn't just going to walk away quietly. Meanwhile, she kept up her act, acting innocent, acting like I was overreacting, calling me paranoid. She threw a few tantrums, accused me of spying, called me insecure, told me I was ruining everything. But I didn't flinch. I just kept quiet, letting her dig her own grave. Every time she lied or denied, I felt a little more empowered. It was like I was finally taking control of my life again, even if it was just in small steps. Deep down, I knew I couldn't stay with her after this. Not after she cheated and lied so blatantly. I was hurt, yes, but more than anything, I was angry. Angry at myself for ever trusting her. Angry at her for betraying everything we built. I kept telling myself, this is it. I'll find out the truth and then I'll decide what's next. I didn't know if I'd stay, divorce her, or what, but I knew I couldn't keep pretending everything was okay. The cracks were showing, and I was finally starting to see her for who she really was. A manipulative, selfish woman who'd do anything for her own pleasure, even if it meant destroying me. The day I finally got the evidence I needed, I felt a strange mix of relief and dread. I was ready to confront her head-on, to face whatever lies she'd throw my way, but I also knew that once I had the proof, my life wouldn't be the same. I had to prepare for the fallout, for the truth to come out, and for the decision I'd have to make. Because this wasn't just about infidelity anymore. This was about trust, respect, and whether I could ever look at her the same way again. The day I finally had the proof I needed, I felt a strange mix of relief and dread. I'd been watching her for days, waiting for her usual pattern of sneaking out late or getting those texts. When I saw her slip out of the house at midnight, I followed her at a distance, keeping my phone ready. She drove to that same hotel, the one I'd discovered the receipt for, and I parked a few blocks away, hiding behind some trees. I didn't want to believe it, but there she was, going into the hotel with Mike. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I'd pass out, but I kept my composure. I waited until they went inside, then I called the private investigator I'd hired. His name's Sam, and he's good at what he does. I told him to go in and get some footage, get some pictures. I knew I needed irrefutable evidence. I sat there in my car, trembling, trying not to think about what was happening inside. It was surreal, like I was watching my life fall apart piece by piece. When Sam finally called me back an hour later, I felt like I was about to lose my mind. He had photos, proof that Emily and Mike were in that hotel room, kissing, touching. They looked like they were having sex, and I could see her face so clearly, flushed and caught up in the moment. I stared at the pictures, unable to breathe. My world was crashing down around me, but I also felt a strange sense of closure. I finally knew the truth. No more guessing, no more lying to myself. I had what I needed. That night I decided I couldn't keep this inside anymore. I had to confront her. I waited until she got home, trying to keep my composure, but I was boiling inside. When she walked in, she looked annoyed, like I was bothering her. I just looked at her, my voice cold and steady. "I saw everything, Emily. I saw you last night at the hotel with Mike." Her face immediately twisted into a bitchy sneer. "You're crazy. You're just paranoid. I don't know what you think you saw, but—" "Don't lie," I interrupted. "I've got the pictures. I know everything." Her eyes flickered, and suddenly her bitchy attitude turned into anger. "You're stalking me. Wow, Jason, you really are losing it. Maybe you should see someone about your obsession with control." I couldn't believe the way she was twisting it, like I was the one at fault, like I was the crazy one here. But I didn't care. I was done pretending. I told her I knew she'd been cheating on me, lying to my face and pretending she loved me while she was screwing around with her brother's best friend. Her face went pale for a second, then she burst out laughing, this nasty, bitter laugh. "You're such a loser. You think I give a damn about your stupid feelings? Seriously, Jason, you're pathetic. I don't owe you anything. I do what I want." That was the moment I realized she was never going to change. She was a bitch, selfish and manipulative, and she'd been lying to my face for months. I felt this deep, raw pain, like I'd been punched again and again. I thought about everything we'd shared, all the plans, the baby, the future I'd envisioned. All of it was crumbling in front of me, but I also felt something else, a strange sense of relief, like I finally saw her for what she truly was. I told her I was done, that I'd file for divorce, that I'd take the baby and leave. And honestly, I didn't care what she said after that, because I'd finally faced the truth. She was a liar, a cheat, and a bitch, and I was done playing her game. I walked out that night knowing I was starting a new chapter, one where I wouldn't be deceived anymore. It hurt so much, but deep down I knew this was the only way I could get my life back. After I confronted her and showed her the evidence, Emily's reaction was exactly what I expected, defiance mixed with mockery. She leaned against the doorway, crossing her arms, and shot me that bitchy smile again. "Honestly, Jason, you're overreacting. I don't know what you're so upset about. It's not like I cheated on you with some random guy. Mike's my brother's best friend. It's just sex, and honestly, you're acting like it's the end of the world. You're so insecure, it's pathetic." Her words cut deep, but I kept my composure. I told her I wasn't going to sit around and be lied to anymore, that I was leaving, that I was filing for divorce, and that I wanted nothing to do with her anymore. She scoffed and rolled her eyes, acting like I was the crazy one. "Whatever, Jason. Do whatever you want. You're just jealous because I had sex with someone who isn't you. Big deal. You're so obsessed with control and loyalty, you're just a jealous little boy." Her words made my stomach turn, but I knew I had to get out now before she could manipulate me further or turn things around. That night, I packed a bag and left. I didn't tell her where I was going, just told her I'd be at my brother for a while. The pain was almost unbearable. How could she be so callous? How could she lie and cheat on me, then turn around and call me insecure? It was like she was trying to make me doubt myself, to make me feel crazy. But I knew the truth, and that's what mattered. I couldn't stay with someone like her. Not anymore. In the days that followed, I felt a mix of relief and devastation. I was relieved because I finally knew the truth and I was free from the lies. But I was also devastated because I'd lost everything I thought we had: the trust, the future, the family I wanted to build. I spent hours staring at those pictures, feeling like I'd been punched in the chest every time I looked at them. This wasn't just betrayal, it was a complete destruction of everything I believed in. I reached out to my brother, Mark, to tell him what I found out. His face went white when I showed him the photos. He said he had no idea Emily was cheating on me, especially with Mike. I could see the guilt in his eyes, but I also knew he was just as blindsided as I was. We both agreed she was a manipulative bitch who had been playing us both for fools. That realization made me almost angry enough to confront her again, but I knew it wouldn't change anything. Now I'm left here, trying to piece my life back together. I don't know if I'll ever forgive her, or even if I want to. I keep questioning myself. What did I miss? Was I just blind, or did she really play me from the start? I know I deserve better than a lying, cheating wife who's so bitchy she can't even take responsibility for her actions. But the hardest part is accepting that someone I loved so much could do this to me, to our family. I keep telling myself that I'll heal, I'll move on, but right now, it just hurts like hell. It's been weeks since I left and started trying to pick up the pieces. Honestly, I don't know if I've fully moved on yet, but I'm getting there. The pain is still fresh. I won't pretend it's not. Every day I wake up wondering how someone I trusted so completely could turn out to be this manipulative bitch. I keep replaying everything in my head. The signs I missed, the lies she told, the sex with Mike, right under my nose. It's like I was blind, and now I see everything in brutal clarity. What's worse is the feeling of betrayal. I told myself I was building a future with her, our family, our child. I thought she was the one. And now I keep asking myself if I ever really knew her at all. Was our whole relationship just a lie? Did she even love me, or was I just some convenient fool she used to get what she wanted? Every time I try to trust someone again, I hesitate. Can I ever really let my guard down after this? Or is this just going to make me cynical and cold? As much as I want to hate her, I also feel sorry for her. She's so bitter, so bitchy, so damn manipulative. Maybe she's just hurt, or maybe she's just a terrible person who enjoys playing with lives. Honestly, I don't care anymore. I realized I don't want someone like that in my life. I want peace, honesty, a little bit of respect. And if I can't get that from her, then I'm better off alone. I keep telling myself that I'll be okay, that I'll find someone who actually cares, who respects me and my feelings. I want to believe I'll someday look back at this and be grateful it happened, because it woke me up. It made me realize I deserve better. I've learned that trust is fragile, and that some people are just not worth your time if they're willing to betray everything for sex or a moment of excitement. I don't hate her. I think I just feel sorry for her. Sorry that she's so bitchy, so selfish, so dead inside that she's willing to destroy her own life and the lives of the people around her. I hope she finds whatever she's looking for, but I know I can't be part of it anymore. I'm finally starting to see that my happiness, my worth, and my future are worth more than this toxic mess she created. So I'm moving on. Not because I want to forget, but because I want to heal. I want to rebuild what's left of me and find my way back to being someone who can trust and love again. It's going to be a long road, but I'm ready for it. I just want to say to anyone out there who's been betrayed like I have, trust your gut. Don't ignore the signs. And sometimes, walking away is the bravest thing you can do.